Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Natalie Alaimo and thank you so much for being here. Tonight I am actually broadcasting on Instagram on my phone, and I'm also using a third-party app to broadcast to Facebook, which is something that I haven't done before. I just have a demo of it, so I think it actually has demo written on it. Don't really know, I haven't figured that part out yet. I'm just going to pull up Facebook here on my other screen so I can follow along with the comments and all of that good stuff that's going to be happening tonight. So just give me 1 second. Once I've played around with this program, I will let you know whether I like it. Basically, I think the actual video part of it's the same, but there is a few cool extra things on there that allows you to have overlays. Like you'll see in the bottom corner, they've actually got their logo there, but I can move mine up a little bit above theirs. I can actually put my logo and a few other things on there as well. Anyway, so enough about the program. Let me just move that out of the way. So tonight we are here to talk about your Facebook Live content framework. So if we haven't met before, my name is Natalie Alaimo. I just want to make sure that we do have people live. Just give me, because I'm not, okay, I am talking to myself over here. Alrighty, I think we are working. I know that we've got people on Instagram and it's showing me we've got people here on Facebook. As with anything, when you use a new piece of software, it's always going to be some teething stuff. So, okay, I'm just going to minimize, just going to move that out of the way so I don't have to look at myself and I can take you through the content. So tonight what I want to talk about is your Facebook Live content framework. So if we haven't met before, my name is Natalie Alaimo, and I need to grab something else there as well. And together with my mum and business partner, Leonie, we actually run Natalie Alaimo International. And basically we help women in business gain clarity, magnify their message and create their ideal businesses by perfecting their sales processes and implementing the Pay Me formula. Now we do this by providing training, online training in our membership site called the Business Hub. And basically it's a really simple, easy, monthly, affordable membership that covers everything that you kind of need to know about online marketing. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Now, if you have hosted your own Facebook Live before, you probably know that it's kind of like combining a live face-to-face presentation with a video and, of course, a whole lot of tech thrown in. You know, today I'm using this new program, so there's all those tech things. But even if you're just going straight onto Facebook, you want to have your comments on one side, you want to have, you know, a few different things set up so that you actually know what you're doing and you can run the presentation smoothly. And I know it can sound overwhelming, but the thing is, by having that content framework, it's actually going to save you when you are running your Facebook Live, because it's going to keep you on track with what you want to talk about. Now, what makes Facebook really, really unique, and this thing is annoying me, sorry, because I can't see the list of people that are online. It's very annoying. You know, the joys of live video. Okay. So I'm actually getting, this is pretty cool. So I'm getting some of the comments. I've lost myself. So actually on this thing, on this program, I shouldn't say thing, I get some of the comments and reactions here as well. So that's good, but it makes a little bit confusing when I'm trying to see what's going on Facebook as well. Anyway, I will just keep going and we can work on the rest of it later. Okay, I'm going to just move myself over to the corner. So if you do have any comments, they should come up here. Yeah, see, I can get a notification here saying Amanda. Oh, perfect. Okay, so there is just, hi Amanda, and I can see Haley's here and Leonie's joined. So if you've just joined us, I've just been saying how I've been using, or I'm testing today, and it says here Ecamm Live. It's a demo version of this software for Facebook Lives, because it allows me to do a few things that, broadcasting directly on Facebook doesn't do. One of the things I'm a little bit confused about, though, is the comments. So the comments do come up because I'm getting a notification on Facebook here. It's just taking a little bit more time, just a couple of seconds for them to come into this system. So I want to keep testing it. If it works, I'll let you guys know all about it. Anyway, so let's go back to the main content that we're talking about, which is why use a content framework. Now, one of the things that makes Facebook Live so unique is that people are actually joining your broadcast all the time, which is different to, say, a face-to-face live presentation. Kay's here. Hi, Kay. So what we want to do is ensure that we have people's attention regardless of whether they join at the beginning, the middle, at the end. If they see you while they're scrolling through Facebook, we want to be able to grab their attention. So in this Facebook Live, I want to talk you through how you can actually structure that content. However, in my Facebook course that I'm pre-launching at the moment, I'll show you more about that a little bit later. It's called Facebook Plan, Present and Publish. I actually go into more detail in presentation skills and tips, because it's some of these things that you can do to actually keep it interesting for people and also get more engagement with your presentation. Techniques such as repeating yourself, which I do often, but not too much, because what that actually does is help reinforce the learning. And also, if people are jumping in at different times, they're kind of not missing anything. And also keeping your content simple and structured. It's really having that structure that allows people to retain the information. So in a nutshell, or basically what I'm saying is, you need a content framework to ensure that you're going to get high engagement with your audience regardless of when they join your live presentation or when they view your broadcast. So if they're viewing it, the day after, if it comes up in their Facebook newsfeed, all of those types of things, you want to use this framework to make it easy for them to digest that content. One of the skills that I believe I am good at, and I'll blow my own trumpet here, is really breaking content down into bite-sized manageable pieces. I know so many people that have an awesome message to share, but they can't get their message across because they can't structure their content in a way that makes it easy for people to be actually digest that content. A little bit off script from what I wanted to talk about, but I think it's an important message and a really valuable skill that people can learn to be able to break their content down in a way that's easy for their audience to digest. Now, there's actually 5 parts. Don't know where my camera is, but 5 parts to your Facebook Live content framework. So part number 1 is welcome. Part number 2 is introduction. Number 3 is your main content. Number 4 is your call to action, and 5 is your close. So I'm going to take you through each of these 5 parts now. So part number 1 is the welcome. So this is the hi, welcome. It's Natalie Alaimo here. Thank you so much for being here. Basically, you're checking in to see if people can hear you. You're thanking them for joining you live while you are on the call. Now, there's actually 2 kind of schools of thought when it comes to a welcome sequence. I think many people, in my opinion, and it's my Facebook Live, I'm entitled to my own opinion, really drag this process out way too long. What they're actually doing is they're waiting for a decent sized audience to appear, which is great for them, but you could be waiting 2 minutes, 4 minutes, even up to 10 minutes. And I personally find that super annoying. Like, if I was on Facebook and someone was starting a Facebook Live at 7 o'clock, but they didn't really get into the content until 10 past, 15 past 7, I'd be like, what is going on, and I know why they do it, but I really think that it is disrespectful to the rest of your audience. Of course, if you haven't pre-planned your Facebook Live in terms of pre-promoting it, like if you haven't said we're going to be there at 7, you might want to give it a little bit of time, but don't drag it out too long. Keep it brief. You obviously want to make sure that people can hear you and that there are people there listening to you, but just get on with it. It really just one of those things that are a bugbear for me, that people just kind of drag the whole thing out way too long. Also in this section, it's something I'll put my hand up and say I often forget to do, but you can say, hey, if there's anyone else that would really like to watch this video, why don't you share it with them? A lot of people will share it into their own group or other pages that they have. You can also ask people to get notifications when you go live. So there is a button when people are watching it that says get notifications. I can never find where it is because it moves all the time. But basically you can ask people to select that button, and then anytime you go live, they'll get notifications. I always forget to do this because I haven't added it to my content framework. I probably should, but I really think it's a good idea. It helps you spread the reach and those types of things. So content framework part 2 is your introduction. So part 1 was the welcome. Then you move straight on to part 2, which is your introduction. Now, this is super important and you don't want to leave it out. You're always going to have people that are new to your broadcast, people that forget what you do and really can't remember how you can help them. Now, this is the part where you're going to share your elevator pitch. It's basically a brief intro that outlines who you are and what you do. Now, in the course Facebook Live, Plan, Present and Publish, I share an exercise on exactly how to do this, because if you can't clearly articulate to someone who you are, what you do, how you're different and how you can help them, how are you ever going to expect your audience to know who you are or what you're about? So this isn't just an exercise that's going to help you if you're running Facebook Lives. This is a valuable business proposition. Proposition is probably not the right word, but this is a valuable business skill. You know, often you might be scrolling on Facebook groups and people are asking questions or they're making comments and they really don't know what they do. So it's really important to have that elevator pitch, and they used to call it an elevator pitch because it's something that you can say to someone as you're riding up the elevator floors. But you know, a couple of sentences. So I always like to start with, if we haven't met before, I'm Natalie Alaimo, and along with my mum and business partner Leonie Alaimo, we run Natalie Alaimo International. And then I go on to tell people, you know, what we help them do. So it's about having that really distinct framework of an introduction that you can pull out when people are like, oh, how are you? What do you do? And, you know, having a little bit of curiosity in it or having what makes you different really makes you stand out. You know, it's not about saying, hi, I'm Natalie, I'm an accountant, because that's boring. And, you know, not all accountants are boring. It's about saying, you know, we help people do, I probably should have pre-planned what I would say about an example for an accountant, but you get the idea. It's about making it interesting and intriguing and valuable to your ideal audience. So we are now moving on to, I might actually reach my goal of getting in under half an hour tonight. We'll see how we go. Probably not, let's be honest. I like to speak too much. So we're up to content framework part 3, your main content. Part three, your main content. So we've welcomed everyone. We said, hi, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. You've introduced yourself so that people that are new to you, people that have forgotten what you do, and people that just need a reminder, you know exactly who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. Now it's time to get into the main content of your presentation. Now, like what I was saying before about your the welcome, you kind of don't want to drag the 2 sections at the beginning out for too long. People are there for the main meat of your content. I'm sure you've been on webinars or you've been on presentations or seen videos and presentations and whatever it may be where people spend all of this time talking about themselves or really just fluffing around. Okay, so it's not about fluffing around. It's about getting to part number 3 of your content framework, the main content, kind of as quickly as possible. Obviously not rushing things, taking the time you need to welcome people and, you know, give a proper introduction, but kind of not making it the main part of the thing. The main bit of your presentation should be your main content. So here we are. It's almost quarter past, it's 13 past 7, 14 past 7, it just ticked over as I said that, and we're already up to the 3rd point of the main content. So, you know, we've got a couple more points, and then we go into the next section, which I'll show you the call to action and then the close. So it's about kind of swiftly moving through the content and not dragging everything out. Now, at the beginning, no, not yet at the beginning, in this section of your main content, what you want to do is provide a brief intro to your content and share or teach 3 to 5 main points. Now, you would have remembered at the beginning of this presentation, I included a why. So I said, you know, at the beginning of this video, share how Facebook Live is different to face-to-face presentations. It's also different to a pre-recorded video because people are joining at different times. And you want them to be able to engage regardless of when they join your Facebook Live. So this is the brief introduction that actually frames your main content and provides people with the reasons why they should keep listening. So you're basically telling people what you're going to tell them, telling them, and then telling them again, or kind of summarizing at the end. And, you know, I know it sounds like you're repeating yourself a lot. And when you actually go back and read the summary that I've written of this presentation, you'll find that I'm kind of saying a lot of the same things over and over again, but in a different way. Now, there's a few different reasons that we do that I don't have time to get into, but it's about making sure that your main points are getting across, and also that people can remember and retain the information. We don't have handouts or notes or anything like that. So you want to be able to people to walk away with that main point that you're trying to get across. Now, what you want to do is share between 3 and 5 points. 3 is really ideal. I personally find it really hard to stick to 3. So I often have 5. Sometimes I have 6. I think I've even known to have 7, but really the sweet spot is that 3 to 5. You know, there's a lot of different schools of thought of how long your Facebook Live video should be. You know, they say the longer they are, the more people you're going to get on because, you know, there's more reach within the newsfeed and those types of things. But can you imagine if you've joined a Facebook Live and it's 20 past 7, like it's not 20 past 7 yet, but they're kind of smack bang in the middle of it. And that can be difficult for someone to kind of jump into the video and still get value out of it. Yes, we're doing everything that we can to provide that engagement as we go, but it's very difficult for people to kind of join in the middle. The other thing to think about is we are time poor. If you can get the message across in half an hour instead of an hour, then you're going to find that people that actually watch your whole replay is going to be increased compared to people that don't. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but basically, if we can get the message in shorter, you're going to get higher completions of your video, okay? The other thing is breaking your content into sections. So I've got a 5-part framework. Actually helps people to retain your message. So, you know, I don't know whether you're writing notes, but it's just basically, you know, you can put those 5 notes down and then you can put little points to them. Whether if I just kind of started talking for half an hour on a content framework, it really would just kind of be all over the place and you wouldn't be able to get those main points. So kind of breaking those things down. It also helps you to build your believe me bank because people like systems, people like processes. So how can you not necessarily systemize your content, but make it really, really easy for people to get that value? Because what you're thinking or what you've got to remember is you're speaking without an outline. So people are watching the video, there's no notes, there's no hands out. All you have is your voice and the way you're communicating and the way you look and things you say and do to get that message across. So having your main content in sections is really vital. Now, you know, I could speak for hours and hours and hours on content and how to structure it and all of those types of things. So in the course, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute, my Facebook Live course, I'll actually take you through how to take your main topic and break it down into parts so that you can share your main content section. Now, again, this is valuable for everything that you are doing. And when you get to read the summary of this video, so for people that don't know, for most of my Facebook Lives, I actually provide a written summary on my blog. You'll actually see that that's how I structure all my content, because you've got to cater for different audiences. So some people will watch a video, some people will read, some people will read every detail, and some people will scan, some people will skip through videos, some people will stop and start and go to back and forth. So what you need to do is make sure, regardless of where people are starting on your content, that they're going to grab something and be able to keep reading through. So content and how you structure it and your main message is relevant regardless of whether you're doing Facebook Live or not. Just content creation is something that we need to be doing as we move forward into this new way of marketing. All right, so let's move on to section number 4, which is the call to action. So we've welcomed your audience, we've introduced yourself, and we've delivered your main content. Now it's time to take your audience to the next step. So by now you've delivered outstanding value. You've given them 3 or 5 main points, and it's okay to ask your audience to do something else. Depending on what your Facebook Live purpose is and goals, this will depend on what specifically the next step is. So you might be building your list, so you might have a checklist or a cheat sheet on your website that they can download. You might be launching or pre-launching, so you can tell people about your course or where they can purchase or how they can work with you further. What's the next step? You might want to be booking discovery calls, for argument's sake. You might have a webinar and you want people to sign up for your webinar. You can really ask people to do anything, and I've got here within reason because, obviously within reason. What I want you to always be thinking about is encouraging people to join your off Facebook community. So mainly this is your email list as a minimum, because I know it's not always possible to have a set opt-in for a specific topic that you're talking about. And if you're not sure what an opt-in is, what I mean is you might have a specific cheat sheet or checklist that's all about your content framework, for argument's sake. People jump over to your website, they put in their name and email address, so you're building your list, you're giving them more value, and you're taking them from Facebook to your email and off Facebook community. But at a bare minimum, you want to encourage people to visit your website. So that might be, if you're talking about a specific topic and there might be more information on that topic on your website, it may just be, hey, come over to my website. I've got lots of more information on there, whatever it may be. Because while Facebook is awesome, and I love what it allows us to do as business owners, we don't own it. And this is really important because I think, particularly in the last, I want to say 18 months maybe, people have really started to realize that you can't build a business on Facebook. And what I mean by that is Facebook isn't all that you should only be doing. We don't own it. They can do what they want. They can make changes whenever they want. And I've been telling people this since 2008 when I've been on Facebook. Oh my God, it's 10 years. That's crazy. That Facebook should be used as a journey to move people to the next steps within your business. Facebook isn't the destination. So it's really important that we utilize Facebook as best as we can, that we do our Facebook Lives, but we always moving people to the next steps within our business. So your Facebook Live, now of course, depending on what your purpose or goal is, needs to have a call to action. So you want to make sure that as you're going through the content framework and as you're planning out each of these sections, what is your call to action? One of the things that I will actually do is I will plan my content around my call to action. So what do I want someone to do? At the end, after I go through part 5, I'm going to take you to my call to action for tonight. And that is, hey, I'm launching this new course all about Facebook Live. So what I've actually taken for this Facebook Live is a whole section, one of the sections of module 1, and I'm just giving you a high level overview of what's in that video. And in the course, I'm going to take you into more detail about how to structure your content and all of those types of things. So I'm thinking, what's my goal? What's my purpose? What's my call to action? What content can I use to get people to take that call to action? So depending on how your brain works and how you want to structure things, you can do your content first and then work out your call to action, or call to action and then work backwards. So moving along, we are at content framework step number 5, which is the close. So we made it to the final part, the close. So we have welcomed people. We have introduced ourselves. We have delivered our main content and outstanding value. Then we have done our call to action. Then finally, part number 5 is the close. Now, during the close, you've got one main job and a couple of smaller ones. Your main job in the close is to summarize your content. And sorry, I just got a notification on my phone. Your main job within the close is to summarize your content and reinforce and repeat your call to action. Remind people what you spoke about, and then what they can do to do more with you, either via paid offer or to join your list. So remember I said before, we're telling them what we're going to tell them. We're going to tell them stuff. We're going to educate them. We're going to share, and then we're going to summarize and tell them what we told them. This allows people to join at any time of your Facebook Live and still get the general gist of what you're talking about. Obviously, they're not going to get the same amount of value if they were here for the same amount of time, but it's allowing you to grab their interest and their engagement regardless of when they find your Facebook Live. Now, the other smaller things that you want to do in part 5 of the close is you can open the floor for questions. Thanks everyone for attending, and tell them when you're planning on going live again. Now, if you are just starting out on Facebook Live, which I know a lot of people are, then you don't have to open the floor for questions. You can just summarize and reinforce your call to action and then leave. If you haven't had enough practice doing live questions, it can be a little bit daunting, and you might have to say something you didn't want to say, or you might want to have thought about an answer better. And if you're there on the spot, it can kind of it can allow your nerves to get the best of you. So if you haven't done it before, it's something that you can work up to. Don't feel pressured to have to open the floor to questions each and every time you go live. If you have been going live for a long time, I need to work on that sentence. I don't always open the floor for questions, but I will encourage people to type them in, and then I can come back and write answers. So the choice is completely yours. I know that if I'm running out of time, and when I mean running out of time in terms of, I think, this Facebook Live should only be 30 minutes. I don't want to have 50 minutes here of questions. Obviously, I want to answer people's questions, but questions, and this is a technique that I've refined from doing webinars, is that the questions at the end, the live Q&A, particularly on webinars, and it's so true now for Facebook Lives, can really derail your content if you don't have experience in how to answer them, because someone could ask something that's kind of completely off topic and the rest of the audience are sitting there going, I was here to learn about Facebook Live. Why are they talking about this? So it is an art and a science of learning how to do a live Q&A. So if you haven't done it before, please don't jump into it. Don't feel the pressure that you have to do it. You can run your Facebook Lives however you want to. So question and answers are completely up to you. So we have made it to the end of the 5 parts. So what I want to do is take you through a summary of those 5 parts again, and really tell you why it's important to have this framework. So the 5 parts are welcome, introduction, main content, call to action, and close. So in the welcome, we welcome everyone. We make sure that they can hear us. Then in the introduction, we're going to introduce ourselves. Not everyone that attends your Facebook Live will know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. A really valuable skill that you can use off Facebook as well. Then in your main content, you're going to provide the reason why. What you're going to do is, why are you actually teaching this content? So I would have spoken about at the beginning of this video is the reason for why, that if you have a content framework, what that actually allows you to do is have high engagement and interest in your content regardless of where people join the Facebook Live. Then you're going to summarize between 3 and 5 main points of content. Not summarize, you're going to teach or share 3 to 5 main points. Then you're going to roll into part number 4, which is your call to action. Remember, if you have delivered awesome value, it's okay to ask people to do something next. That might be to visit your website to give you their name and email address. It might be to buy a course or work with you further. It may be a webinar that you have up, or it may just simply to visit your website and read a blog. What we want to try and do is move people off Facebook onto our own community, our off Facebook community, mainly our email database. And then step number 5 is your close. Now in your close, you're going to summarize what you said. Plus you're also, if you want to, open the floor for questions. The choice is yours whether you actually want to have a live Q&A or not. Now, having this framework actually allows you to ensure that your message gets out in a way that's going to help your audience to build a relationship with you and gain value from your presentation. It's really important that you follow a framework so you just don't get onto video. And if you haven't done a lot of Facebook Lives before or live presentations, we have a tendency sometimes to ramble, which means that that you don't actually get that main points across that you wanted to. So when you build that know, like, and trust factor, or your Believe Me bank, is when you can move people into paying customers. So I love Facebook Live, and I love the fact that it's free. It allows you to boost your Believe Me bank and has amazing organic reach. It's for this reason that I wanted to help as many women as possible in business gain the traction from their own Facebook Lives, because we know that organic reach is dwindling, and Facebook Live is a really good way to not only boost your reach within the newsfeed, but build your Believe Me bank fast. I know if you haven't done video before, let alone live video, it can be a little bit overwhelming. You have to work out your content, then you've got the tech, and then it's how you look. And most of it does come down to having the confidence to do it and having a strategic plan. I'm currently in the process of building my latest course, which is called FB Live, Plan, Present, and Publish, which takes you through the 3 main steps. I don't know what is wrong with my hands today. I keep saying 3 and pulling out 4. The 3 main steps of setting up a Facebook Live. So the plan is what you do before you get on camera. Think about your content, your title, and your tech setup. Then your presentation. You know what to do while you're on camera, including the tech, presentation skills, and having your audience retain the most from your message. And then finally is publish. So what to do after your live. A lot of people will do a Facebook Live. They'll just leave it on Facebook and then do nothing. But it's a perfect opportunity to actually repurpose your content and get maximum value from the time and effort you've put into that content. You can repurpose it across different platforms and on Facebook, and I'll take you through exactly how to do all of that. Plus, I've actually put in a couple of bonuses. One is called Pull Yourself Together Quickly, and the other one is a Facebook Messenger bot. So I'm definitely not a Facebook Messenger bot expert. To be honest, it's completely confusing, but I have worked out the main things you kind of need to do to be able to get someone to sign up to it, and how to send reminders for something like your Facebook Lives, which I do. So hopefully you probably all got, if you subscribe to it, got a reminder 15 minutes before saying, hey, we're going live in 15 minutes through Facebook. Now, module 1 is going to land on Monday the 26th of February, with the other modules to follow shortly. So just a couple of weeks, and it will be ready. The pre-launch sale, I should say, is on now, only until the end of the week, and you can join for as low as $47. You'll see 2 options, and all you need to do is go to nataliealaimo.com/FB Live course. I'm actually going to, this is one of the reasons why I want to try out this program. So for those of you on Instagram Live, you won't see the magic. But on Facebook, and I'm going to refresh over here to see if it actually works, you should see the Facebook Live logo, my FB Live logo, with the URL under the video. So hopefully you can see that, because that's pretty cool. That's one of the reasons why I really liked this thing, and I'm going to try it out a little bit more. So you should be able to see that on there, which is, it's called an overlay. It's pretty cool. So when you go to nataliealaimo.com/FB Live course, you can either join for 12 months access to the course only, which is only $97 during pre-launch, or you can join the Business Hub, where you get instant access to all my other courses, plus Facebook Live when it's launched. Now, this option is only $47 a month, and you can cancel at anytime. And you'll see when you land on that page, so nataliealaimo.com/FB course, FB Live course, is all of our other courses on email marketing, your online plan, Facebook content, creating your own courses, your website, things like how to write an about page, how to create email marketing sequences, all of that good stuff is in the Business Hub. So it really is the most cost-effective way of joining us. Plus, you get all the other complimentary courses that are going to help you with your Facebook Live. Things like, where are you sending people after? You're sending them to your website to get them to sign up for something. Then, you know, the email sequence that you're going to send them, and all of that good stuff. But everything that you need to know is over on that page. So you just need to go to nataliealaimo.com/FB Live course. So if you have just joined us, I'm sorry, we are towards the end of what we are doing. But tonight we've been talking about our 5-part Facebook Live content framework. So I will have all of the details and all the 5 stages over on the blog summary. So once all that's ready, I will jump over to this video and I will share the link to where you can get the full summary of everything that we've spoken about. If you do have any questions, please just type them into the comments. And if I don't get a chance to answer them now, I will definitely come back and answer them. And I just wanted to say a big shout out to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I know we had quite a few of our regulars on, people that are already members of the Business Hub. And I do really appreciate the support, because it is nice to know that even though people have your content, they still like to come and support you. And obviously they want to know about the new course that they will have access to very shortly. So I think I am done. I'm going to take a sip of water. I'm going to jump over to Facebook and check if there's any comments there. If you didn't hear before, I am testing out a new system. It's a third-party system that actually allows you to do Facebook Lives out of Facebook, and it gives you these really cool overlay things. It does have the comments on it, but Facebook Live is really buggy with comments. So I want to jump over to Facebook. So give me 1 second. And just make sure that I haven't missed any comments. Amanda is one of my biggest supporters. Thank you so much for being here, Amanda. She's saying the Business Hub, it's awesome. So thank you very much. Oh, I clicked on something there and I've missed it. Okay. I think we're good. So, okay, saying thanks, Natalie. That was really helpful. Thank you so much for being here, ladies. If you have any questions, anyone that's even watching the replay, the rebroadcast, whatever we're going to call it, just type them in there. I will jump in and check them. Thank you so very much, everyone, for being here. Once it's all finalized, I will post the summary on the video as well. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really looking forward to everyone's Facebook Lives using this framework. So have a great evening, and I'll speak to you all really soon. Bye for now. Alrighty. Love new technology. I don't know how to stop the video. Okay, I found the button I need to press. I'll speak to you all really soon. Bye.